Okay. Hi friends, my name's Emma. I'm a 21-year-old English teacher who loves to be unnecessarily nerdy and pedantic about things, and this is my first long-form YouTube video ever. If you also like to be unnecessarily nerdy and pedantic, or you like the content that I share with you in this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe, do all of the YouTube things. I will love you forever if you do. Today, the thing that we're going to be unnecessarily nerdy and pedantic about is the "I'm just a girl" trend. We all know it. We all love it. I'm not going to be like sharing any clips of people doing this trend or anything like that, because I think we're all very familiar at this point. What I'm interested in doing is breaking down this phrase word by word. I find this phrase incredibly problematic. It kind of like makes my skin crawl when I hear people unironically using this phrase, because when you break it down, it's kind of a really scary thing that people are saying. So in order to break down a phrase, we need to make sure that we've correctly defined all of the words that are a part of the phrase. And we've looked at both their connotation and their denotation. So the connotation of a word is the meaning that we assign to it as we use it in conversation, and the denotation is the literal definition of the word. So for example, the literal definition of the word hot is warm in temperature, but we can also use it to mean like fine, you know? So the connotation and the denotation can be different. So let's break down two of the key words in this phrase, which are just and girl. The literal definition of the word just is basically only or simply, right? So we can use it in various different ways. So for example, you could say, "I'm going out tonight," and somebody could say to you, "Oh, are you going with your friends?" And you say, "Nope, just me," which means that it's only you. You're the only person that's going out. You alone, just you, okay? It also can mean, somebody could say to me, "Oh my gosh, you're an educator. You must do inspiring work and really, really teach the children." And I'm like, "No, I'm just a teacher." Now that kind of implies a sort of sense of like, not demeaning, but kind of like simplicity. This is, no, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I'm just a teacher. It's not that deep. That's just me. It's kind of putting yourself down a little bit and reducing. I'm gonna go with that word. It's reducing. Nope, it's not a huge thing. I'm just a teacher. It's a word that inherently makes you smaller when you use it. And then the last one would be just, implying all, right? So this is all that I am. So if somebody could say, "Oh, so you're an English teacher? So like you teach people to speak English, you're ESL?" And I would say, no, I'm just an English teacher. Like I teach people to write essays, not like speak English, just a standard English teacher, which implies like the only thing that I do is teach people standard English. I'm not ESL, I'm not anything fancy, just English. So those are three kind of different connotations of just. Are your friends going out? Nope, just me. Oh, you must be all these great things. Nope, I'm just me. Just me. And oh, you must be able to do this thing, that thing, the other thing. No, all I can do is this. Just this. Okay? So those are three different connotations of the word just. The next one we have to define is the word girl. So girl has the denotation, the definition of a prepubescent woman, right? A young female child. A young female child. That's a girl. Now, we could argue, I think, at what age does a girl become a woman? I'm gonna go with 18 because that's something that like everybody does, because you could argue, oh, it's when you graduate college, it's when you move out, it's when you get married, but not everybody goes through those steps in their life. So I think the clearest definition of when we stop being a girl and we begin being a woman is at the age of 18. So if we're going with our working definition of girl as a female child under the age of 18. Now, the connotation of girl is where things get a little bit hairy. So I think that recently the internet has kind of done this thing where we have assigned girl as a connotation to mean anything that's traditionally feminine. So I've seen people talking about like girlhood on social media and things like that. And it's usually just traditional feminine traits or experiences that are repackaged with the term girlhood. So girl, despite literally meaning, like we said, a female child, has taken on this connotation of traditionally feminine. So basically, the word girl here, I think in the phrase I'm just a girl, could have two potential connotations. Either I'm just a child, I'm just a girl, I'm not grown up yet, I'm just a child, or I'm just a girl, I'm traditionally feminine, I'm soft, I'm whatever. I think based on the way I see people using this trend, those are our two working connotations of the word girl in this phrase. When we put it together, this is where I think things start to get a little bit problematic. Okay, so we have the phrase, I'm just a girl. So let's take one of our connotations of the word just, and we'll say that it's the one that sort of reduces you, right? That's all that I am. No, I'm not anything special. I'm just me. So you're saying I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl. I'm not anything. I can't do that. I'm not capable of that. I'm not special enough for that. I'm just a girl. Right? Now, if we take one of our connotations of the word girl and we use the connotation of this is a child, then you're saying I'm just a child. How do you expect me to do that? I'm just a child, right? So I'm going to use an example of one of the actual videos that I saw using this trend, which was making my boyfriend file my taxes for me because I'm just a girl. So in this context, I'm just a girl can either mean I'm making my boyfriend do my taxes for me because I'm actually just a child who doesn't have the capability of doing it myself, or making my boyfriend do my taxes for me because I am traditionally feminine, which makes me unable to do the taxes myself. And when you break it down like that, I think the problem starts to become very clear. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is the two different ways in which I see this phrase used. Okay, this phrase used. So the first type of way that I saw it used, which is actually the second type of way I saw the other way first. I think the less harmful type of way that I see it used is the painting my whole house pink because I'm just a girl. Stopping to get myself a little sweet treat on the way home because I'm just a girl. So what that's playing into is a feeling of whimsy. That's the word that I see being used to describe it often is whimsical. And it is whimsical, but not in the way that people think. So the way that we're using the word whimsical in 2026, I find is generally pertaining to things that are romanticized, things that are cutesy and oftentimes girly or traditionally feminine, things that are unusual, but like in a cute, socially acceptable way. The actual meaning of the word whimsy is a flight of fancy, and usually a kind of like not really helpful or useful one. So it would be basically, it's like when we hear people like, oh, I just did it on a whim, right? That's the actual meaning of whimsy. When people used to say, oh, they're a really whimsical person, it meant I can't control my desires. I can't control these urges to just do something crazy and just give into this little flight of fancy I have going on. That's the definition of whimsical. That's the definition of whimsy. And that's exactly how the trend is actually being used. When you say, oh, I just had to paint my house because I'm a woman. I had to get myself a sweet treat because I'm a woman. I'm a girl. It's actually, yet again, playing into the stereotype of women are whimsical. Women can't control their flights of fancy. Women can't control their desires. Women have to do these impractical things because they are women. And you're just reinforcing the toxic stereotype of women not being able to control themselves in that regard. And I don't think that it's being done intentionally. I truly do think that people are thinking of it as being whimsical in like the 2026 sense. And I do think that it is the less harmful version of that trend. But I do want to point out that those implications are still there and they are still toxic. So I think that the second way that the trend is being used would be the having my boyfriend file my taxes for me because I'm just a girl. Stopping to making my boyfriend rotate my tires because I'm just a girl. And this one to me plays more into the infantilizing use of the word girl than it does the feminine, right? So the first one, the sweet treats and the painting the house pink, is more the feminine flights of whimsy, that kind of a thing. This one is the childlike. Oh, I can't figure out how to do this basic task because like I'm just a girl. Can't you do it for me? That's what that is saying. I find this one to be a lot more harmful because it's not actually about gender anymore. Now it's about immaturity and weaponized incompetence. You are basically saying, I'm a child. I'm incapable of doing this thing. I need somebody else to do it for me. With, of course, you know, the added flavor of, you know, being a woman and generally asking a man to do something for you. I could get up on my soapbox and talk about how women for years have fought for the privilege to be able to file taxes or pay a credit card. And I find it really ungrateful when women, you know, are happy to take advantage of the rights that they now have, but at the same time talk about how they're not feminist, or they, you know, play into the stereotypes about women while taking advantage of the work that feminists have done for years before. And I don't really want to like get into all of that, but I do find this other version of the trend equally, if not more, harmful, because you're weaponizing your incompetence. You're talking about yourself as though you're a child that needs somebody to do things for you because you're incapable of doing them yourself. And I just think that's really toxic regardless of gender. And the gender piece is just an extra little toxic sprinkle on top. Another thing that people were saying about the I'm just a girl phrase is, well, women are allowed to have their inner child and be girlish and have that side of themselves. Yes, I totally agree with that. That's totally correct. However, that is literally inherently not what the phrase is saying. You're using the word just, which implies only, right? I'm only a girl. This is all that I am. All that I am is a girl. So I do think that it's totally true that women can be super strong and badass and fierce and hold that like soft, childish part of themselves and an inner child 150%. But this phrase, I'm just a girl, is not that. When you say that phrase, you're saying all that I am is this one part of me. So why does this matter? When I was posting short form content about this trend, which is the thing that led me to do this long form video, because I found that in short form content I had to be really clickbaity and rage baity and like grabbing people's attention. Oh, this phrase is terrible towards women, and I was like trying to get people to, you know, engage with the video, and I wasn't able to get into the nuance that I wanted to get into, hence me making this video now. But one of the most common things that was popping up in the comments was, it's just a joke. It's not that deep. And here's my thing. I think it is that deep. Because the more that we use a phrase, the more accepted it becomes. It is also true, I think, the more we say things, the more we believe them. So for example, slurs. We'll take slurs, for example. Things like the N-word, the R-word, stuff like that, used to be super commonplace and accepted in society. Why? Because everybody said them. Everybody said these things. So people were comfortable saying these things because everybody else was saying them. And if you today, if you as a person decide that you're going to say these slurs and you normalize saying the slur and you normalize it to the people around you, guess what? Those people are going to start to feel comfortable saying that slur. They're going to start to feel comfortable saying that around you, and then they're going to start to feel comfortable saying it around other people. And then those other people will get used to it, and the cycle and the circle continues. So when you are using this phrase of I'm just a girl, which we have broken down must either translate to I'm just a child and thus incapable of doing this thing, or I'm just a woman and incapable of doing this thing, you are normalizing that pattern of thinking. You're normalizing it to yourself and you're normalizing it to other people. So you as a woman are saying to your partner, your significant other, oh, I need you to file your taxes for me because like I'm just a girl. I can't do it. Or I need you, or I just had to go get myself a sweet treat because like I'm just a girl. Those things aren't necessarily inherently harmful, but what it's saying to your partner, to your friend, to your whatever is, I'm so incapable of not giving into my flights of fancy because I'm a woman, or I just need you to do this thing for me because I'm just like a kid. I can't take care of that. And you are normalizing that pattern of thinking for both yourself and the person that you're speaking to, the person that you're sharing it with. So then that person that you're sharing it with starts to believe that it's true and that you are incapable of doing those things because you are somehow inherently childish, or that because you are a woman, you are incapable of doing those things. And that toxic pattern that we've seen in society for so long of people assuming that women are inherently less capable is just continually being reinforced. So to use a phrase that I truly do hate, people say like, it's just a joke, it's not that deep. I fear it is that deep. I fear it is that deep. We are reinforcing with every use of this phrase the stereotype that women are childish and less capable. So that was me being unnecessarily pedantic about the phrase, I'm just a girl. So I want to hear from you in the comments. Do you think that I'm reading too much into it? Do you use the phrase? Do you not use the phrase? What are your takes? I want to hear from you. Let's have a discussion. I love discussions. I love facilitating discussions. I love being a part of discussions. Let's keep it civil. Let's keep it classy. Let's keep it clean. But let's talk. I want this channel to be a space for open dialogue and open discussion. And yeah, just give me your thoughts. I want to hear from you. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching this video, my very first video. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all of the YouTube things. It will help me out so much. I am so truly grateful for anyone who's here. I love you all so much. Have a beautiful day. Remember to be kind to yourself, love yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.